This is Manohar. I'm an analytics engineer at Workday. Today I'm going to speak about we all something deal with every day. I mean, getting answers from data. So we have come a long way. Spreadsheets, dashboards, SQL querying. But business teams still stuck in a cycle. They ask a question and they wait. Now we are in the realm of AI. The large language models is gonna change that. So it's not replacing analysts or data engineers, but it's supplementing them, making them focus on what matters, as well as the business teams getting the answers to not lose that momentum when they really want to know what's happening behind the data. So it's going to be conversational rather than asking. Um, so let's talk about uh, through this question. Let's say we wanted to ask what was our revenue for premium customers this month, the world way. So we ask the data team, and they generate the SQL. We wait until then an answer. They get back to us in the form of an answer. It will take hours, sometimes days. We don't have a certain clarity on when it's going to be. And it also relies on data team availability. The data team should be available, and so it's kind of a lost um, moment for the business teams. They really want to answer this, but they cannot. And let's talk about the new way. So the user asks the question, and the AI writes the SQL, execute the SQL, and gets back the results back to the user. So it's the new way. And from hours to days to seconds. And it's kind of a 24 by 7 self-service, depending on the availability of the bot. So it's pretty simple, right? The AI makes it easy. But it's not magic. So what actually happens behind the scenes is, so I have asked this question to LLM ChatGPT, as you all know. Just ask this. Okay, what is the revenue for premier customer? To see what LLM really thinks behind answering that question. So it responds by saying, where is the data coming from, what defines a premium customer, what is your revenue, is it a net, is it a gross, blah, blah, blah. And which field represents the revenue. So those are the questions. So it's really lacking that structure or the semantic information about your data. As you all know, these LLMs are trained on public data, but not on your enterprise level or company level data. So you have to give that information. So what LLM really needs and how a semantic layer helps. So we have what table definitions. We can know what each table represents. And it can be defined in the semantic layer under a particular structure. I'm going to display an example in the next slide, but and the column description, or understand what each column represents. What are the values in it? Maybe a sample. It really needs to understand the basics so that it generates the content for you better. And it obviously reduces the hallucination like you have seen in the previous slide. So descriptions and all, metric logic. So you define, what's the real, revenue in your terms? Is it a gross? Is it a net? Just define that. So, and table relationships, how this table is connected to the other table. Customers is connected to the orders on customer ID. So that level of information is really needed. That's where the semantic layer helps. So if you are all familiar with DBT, a data build tool, that's going to simplify that defining the semantic layer. Because in DBT, we work from source to the MART models, which are kind of tables that are connected directly to dashboards. The DBT enables the developers to write documentation from source itself. So that source documentation will flow into the models, and models to the marts, and marts to the dashboard. So the DBT really simplifies that, and it's an open source tool. We at Workday use DBT as a lot, and our team is kind of focused on open source a lot, and yeah, and DBT is the perfect tool for us, and it's been used by other big organizations, and as you can see how the semantic layer really plays a role can be simplified to DBT. So let's look at that example. I'm not sure people in the back can see this, but I wanted to structure how the semantics layer should look like. So you see on top of it models, and under that you see name of that model. Model in terms of DBT knowledge is tables. Customers. Okay, what's the description? Contains the customer level aggregates, blah, 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 anything about that customer's table. And the columns, name, customer ID, okay, what is the primary key, whatever, and the information associated with that column. And we have metrics. So what's the revenue? So the total revenue from the customers, and whatever the information you can put under the metrics. And the relationships, is it a one-to-many relationship, many-to-many? You can define all that, and its reference to orders on customer ID. So this is the level of semantics is really needed for the LLMs to understand. So without this layer, even the smartest model in the planet, or I don't know, there is a subject to opinion, but I would say even the smartest model cannot answer the question without this structure. So it should be, the LLMs are really good at reasoning and generating, but without the structure or without the information to your data, it really cannot do the job for you. So this layer is kind of really important to get the accuracy up of the LLM responses and the hallucinations go down. And it's simplified through DBT. And so let's ask the same question with the necessary information about customers and orders. As you can see in the right-hand side, I have asked the question, you are a SQL expert, that's a system prompt, and the user question is the same question, and relevant tables or customer. I just pull that information, what I have shown in the previous slide, into the prompt, whatever necessary. How you are going to pull, I'm going to explain in the second slide, when you have thousands of tables. But with semantic layer context, it's going to generate the SQL without having any second conversation with it, because it really understands. If we can understand, and the LLMs are easy to understand as well. So that's what I'm trying to convey. And it generated this SQL, as you can see, it joined based on that, and it has created it has filtered the customer type to premium because I explained so. It contains premium or regular customers, and did come up with order.status equals completed. So it's just looking at the completed orders. I didn't say that, but it did come up with that. So it has that general knowledge, but if you can provide the structure, then it's, I think, so scaling to production with RAG. So we cannot really include table definitions, like thousands of tables in every prompt, right? Like it's gonna burst the context size, and the cost go up when you're querying the chat GPT and all. So the solution is retrieval augmented generation. So the user asks a question and RAG uh, searches index metadata. Metadata is what I have shown in the semantic layer, and sends only the relevant tables or the columns into the prompt. So it's going to simplify that prompt with only the necessary tables that are included in it. And why it works, yeah, it keeps it light, it can make LLM scalable, and ensures fast generation with even with large schemas. So there are advanced approaches in the recent times. I mean, I would all encourage to search with that as well. Um, and there are some great sessions who people delivered on that. So behind the scenes, so how the system works. So this is kind of what I have got. So the retriever. So it finds the most relevant tables, metrics, and columns from that AML that I have shown. And the generator is going to generate that SQL using that context. The executor, it runs the SQL query, gets the results. And the narrator summarizes the output in the plain English. So these four agents are going to simplify that process from with that question, just getting the answer in seconds. So that's the loop: ask, understand, run, explain. It's basically conversational analytics powered by the data engineering best practices, and also the when I say best practices, the structured data. So why this matters? So for business teams, no SQL required. I mean, just ask. Answers are fast, consistent, and reliable. For data teams, less time on repeated requests, ad hoc queries, and all. And more time for modeling and optimization, or whatever they want to work on to simplify that process. And for leadership, real-time visibility into the business, and I mean, everyone. So basically, it's trying to simplify the process of getting the data without relying on other people, and encouraging the people to try that on their own. And the big picture, from ask and wait to ask and know. So the future, I mean, beyond what to why. So today, what is it's going to answer the description? I mean, what basically, and tomorrow, why did it drop? So I mean, if you power those LLMs with necessary context, it's gonna do all this. Returning users fell 15%. I mean, what if churn improves? I think this is all possible, but the foundation layer is really important, which is the structured data and the vision, smarter system, proactive strategy, and deeper insight. So this is the I come up with a demo, like when the user asks, it's just as simple as it. Like the retriever does this, the generator, it converts your question in SQL and running the SQL. I mean, I just come up with the Jaffle Sharp database, which is a demo. But as you can see, the communicator really does it like the analyst. And thank you. So, I mean, it's not just technical. With the help of LLMs, I think everything is going to be conversational, especially these kind of problem. And yeah, I'm Manohar Sai Jasti, and you can find me on LinkedIn, and that is my personal email. Thank you.